Welcome back to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 99. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zach Huber.
And this is the podcast where we talk about movie and TV topics from the last week, get into all this week. And this week we got some Game of Thrones stuff, some Star Wars, some Marvel topics to cover with you.
Yeah, we are going to talk about the brand new trailer for the newest Game of Thrones spin-off show called A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which its trailer had come out maybe a week or two ago. We're also going to talk about the newest Marvel TV trailer that's come out with Wonder Man. As on the same topic as Marvel, we're also going to talk about some details regarding VisionQuest. And we are also going to talk about some more Marvel with Daredevil Born Again Season 2, which the trailer was shown at New York Comic Con, and we have some descriptions of what was shown, and our first look at Sadie Sink on set for Spider-Man Brand New Day, with a very heavily rumored role that she may be playing. So we're going to talk about that all later on in the podcast. But to start everything off, we're going to discuss the very surprising and kind of out of nowhere news that there was a Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh work in progress almost, I guess, finished script that was developed.
From what I hear, it was a finished script. Yeah.
Finished script made by Steven Soderbergh along with Adam Driver without even being asked. So about a Hunt for Ben Solo movie that would have taken place after episode 9.
Yep.
And the story as it goes so far, or at least the reason why it didn't go forward, is that Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm really loved it, and then Alan Berg and
Bob Iger
and Bob Iger said no to it because they didn't see how Ben Solo was alive.
Now,
so
it's really funny because I think that's something that would come from me, to be honest. if let's say this in an alternate universe, this trailer gets dropped, I'm like, how is he alive?
Right.
I think I'd be frustrated. I mean, yeah, the movie would probably be cool as hell. Because from what it sounds like Adam Driver even was like, this is one of the coolest scripts I've ever been a part of. They definitely and the fact that Adam Driver was the one who kind of initiated all of this. He had unfinished business with the character. I think he had a passion for it, which I think is so cool. But I just one, I'm already upset about all the movies that are coming post episode 9. And now, there's another one that would have been cool, but also wouldn't have made a ton of sense. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on this.
Well, I mean, I agree. I don't know how he would be alive. I mean, I was already upset that he was that he himself brought Rey back to life. Is that how episode 9 went?
He transferred his force energy into her, killing himself. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was already upset with the fact that, something like that was now occurring in the Star Wars universe where basically people could be brought back from the dead.
Right.
With that being said, I mean, this is coming from, on spec, not being asked by the studio, just had an idea by one of the best directors in working today.
And they already had experience together. They did Logan Lucky together.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I mean, and Logan Lucky's a good movie, man.
That one's actually probably that one I wasn't as crazy about, but I enjoyed I enjoyed the performances of the actors in it, like Daniel Craig and Adam Driver.
Absolutely.
And I think it's Channing Tatum was
I think
in
you're
it
right.
too.
I think.
But regardless, still he's a great director. And it was really like that. Even that movie was still interesting.
Right.
You still had this made, like, and it's basically the equivalent of basically like having I don't know, it's the equivalent of having like a not a Denis Villeneuve or anything, but like a very if a Quentin Tarantino or like a David Cronenberg, or
to me it's like you're going back to like, and I don't know, maybe you think of Rian Johnson a different class, but like to me Rian Johnson's like a filmmaker, right? And like you're getting another one of those guys.
Right. Yeah, like before Rian Johnson was like Rian Johnson, the Knives Out guy, where like you're like, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like now you have, I think Steven Soderbergh's probably like a bit higher class, like higher up there. But it's like having like a Matt Reeves, like be like, let's make
Batman.
Let's make I, without being asked, I need this Star Wars script, and now like we said, like we don't know how he comes back, but the fact that the dude who made like the Ocean's trilogy and Contagion wants to like has an idea for it now.
To be a part of
to be
Star
fair,
Wars. Right?
To be fair, it could be terrible. It could be bad. The thing.
Sure.
I just have questions about. Like when Kevin Feige wants to make a movie, I don't think that he has to ask Bob Iger's permission. And when like Pete Docter wants to make a movie for Pixar, I don't think that he has to ask Bob Iger's permission.
I think he might now. I think you're right about Kevin Feige, but I know Pixar's in a worse spot than it was like 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
That's not Pete Docter's fault.
No, but
the studio's fault.
I'm just saying Disney has their own mandates now, right? And it sounds like they're going sequel original. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, yeah. All right, I hear you on that one. Like but what I'm trying to say is, it's like I don't think that James Gunn has to ask David Zaslav to make this movie. He's the head of his own studio. He gets his budget. He makes what he wants. What I want to hypothesize is either this was an excuse given, because it would be very divisive among the fans. Even if it was like a great script, it's like a politically motivated, like this is too divisive. Like that's why I don't even think the Rey movie's really going to happen. Or
she's going to be in a movie at least one.
But I just don't think it'll be like a Rey movie.
Sure. Yeah.
But so it's either that or Lucasfilm is in such a bad place and everybody knows it that like it basically you're asking, the head of all of Disney. You're not even asking like you're having to go to like the guy who runs all the movies, like Alan Berg or Alan Bergman, I forget. And then you're also basically like asking the guy who's in charge of not just the movies, but in charge of the parks and the cruises and all the other stuff, which seems very weird.
It's a little weird, but also I think like this was back in probably 2022, 2023. Like this is something where, Lucasfilm was like intentionally staying out of the theaters for a while after like The Rise of Skywalker. And I think you're like, to make any movie in the Star Wars realm at that point, I think it's a big ask. And It's now been like I think at least 2 years since they shot down the script and kind of said no. This is why they're allowed to talk about it now, I guess. So yeah, I think the movie side of Lucasfilm was in such a rough spot that they had to get permission from Bob Iger and Alan Bergman or whatever his name is. And I think like for the TV side, it seemed like they were allowed to make whatever they wanted for quite a long time. Like it seemed like there was, Obi-Wan getting greenlit, Boba Fett, Ahsoka.
Well, that's what seems a little
Crew.
like, I don't know. That's what I feel like seems so like, that seems so hypocritical, is like, well, all this other stuff was getting made, but then like this wasn't. Like, no, why is the movies?
You were using movie budgets for these TV shows pretty much. Like you're not really doing anything different, but putting it out on your streaming service.
Right. So I don't know. I just have questions about why it actually. Like I just wonder.
Just a little skeptical.
I'm just skeptical as to like why is it really because Bob Iger said no, and also why is it that Bob Iger is saying no? Like why is this like the head of the studio not able to go forward with certain ideas?
Right.
But again, it might be because it would be such a divisive movie, because like as much as I think that there was things about Kylo Ren that could have been really great and interesting to explore. And just the idea of like Ben Solo. I mean, like if we wanted to, bring back Mark Hamill and have some of his time while he was like getting trained by Luke as part of the story in this, like as flashbacks, right. or like
sure
that could be a great selling point, but again,
but it's post episode 9.
How well, yeah, but like I'm saying like flashbacks or whatever.
Right.
I don't know how he comes back. As much as I don't like as much as I don't like episode 9, I felt like that's probably like, yeah, he died finally being heroic.
Right. I mean, like just let it rest.
He's killed so many people.
Like, a lot. He became a little mini Vader there. But also it's just like the Star Wars problem now is that like no one stays dead, right? And I think like Palpatine's episode 9, it's just like whenever somebody falls and goes out of like the plane of vision, like you're probably living because we don't see a body. And
right, like it felt like Maul. Everybody would just Darth Maul, even in the first episode of Ahsoka, Sabine gets stabbed.
Right. And Obi-Wan, the Inquisitor woman who tries to kill Darth Vader, she gets stabbed, lives. It's just like
the Inquisitor, the main Inquisitor guy gets stabbed, lives.
Yep.
And even fucking Timothy Oliphant
at the end of Boba Fett in season 1, he's shown to be in the back to tank healing up. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? No one can stay dead. It's just like, let's let this one finally rest. Like Kylo was he was probably like my second favorite character of the whole trilogy. I'll say second because I think everyone was butchered in that last movie. But yeah, like let's just let things die. And
right.
I said, I think this would have been like, I believe Adam Driver when he says this was the coolest script he's ever been a part of. And I think it's a shame that he wasn't able to make it because he has so much passion for his character and for Star Wars. But maybe this was an okay decision. I know that's probably going to be controversial, but because it seems like the entire internet wants this movie,
They want that. I don't know. I'm the thing that I'm most surprised about is that so many people seem behind it because I really wonder if they went forward and said, like, we are going to make this.
Right.
How, like, that whole sequel trilogy was still super divisive. And the idea of bringing back, we've already gone over it. But I see like the importance of keeping him dead. Like the fact that like the Duffer Brothers came out this week and said like Eddie Munson is dead. Like Eddie Munson's not coming back in Stranger Things season 5.
It's good to have like real consequences for your story.
Right.
You know?
Right. And that doesn't mean that I couldn't imagine seeing like some sort of redemption and some nice thing being like people around his grave, and he's shown to be like a hero after all. Like he doesn't actually, he is absolved by like the townfolk of God, what is the town in fucking Stranger Things? But like Hawkins.
Oh yeah, you got it.
And that would be great. That would be a beautiful moment,
sure,
for the character if that's what happens. But you don't have to bring Eddie back, and like he's still dead, and it's sad. But like it's and like there's things that you can do.
Yeah.
But if you bring them back, it's like, okay, well now I just could pretend like, oh, well, maybe they probably aren't really dead,
Right. Yeah. Like that's what you can do for Star Wars. Like 75% of the time someone dies, or they're like, they're probably not actually dead. So,
right. And that's what, like when you watch some of your favorite movies, when like when somebody's dead, it's like that much more like sad and affecting, because that they're like on your say your like favorite one movie that's never gonna like have a sequel to it, like it's like they're dead. That's sad,
right. Yeah. No, I get it. I'm totally with you, and I think we're both on the same page with this. I think, and I agree with you. I think there would have been a lot more critics if this were to have gone forward than there are right now. I think it's popular to hate on Disney and Star Wars right now. And I think that's a part of the reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't have anything to back this up, but I feel like the fact that I haven't looked at the name of the accounts of people being like behind this, but I'm just saying that Steven Soderbergh, like, I just wonder how many like film nerds are like, ooh, Steven Soderbergh, like you say, and it's like, like I wonder if it's just like a very vocal, like just a film bro kind of like people who are
just a vocal minority.
I don't know.
It's possible. But yeah, we'll still get a bunch of post episode 9 movies. We'll get one with Star Wars Starfighter coming 2027, I think. So for those who like the sequels, you're, I guess, in luck still. But yeah, next topic we wanted to go over was the new trailer, or the first trailer for Night of the Seven Kingdoms. This was a really pleasant surprise. I think immediately you can like tell the tone shift with this story compared to like the other shows. You know what I mean? The trailer shows like no signs of magic, just zero magic. Like there's some plays with like,
there was like a dragons. Dragon. I think
it was a fake dragon. It was like in a play. Yeah. So this is set like, from what I hear, it's set 50 years after the last dragon has died. So dragons are no more. This follows a singular duo, compared to Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon having this massive ensemble cast. From what I hear, it's not going to have the same like intro that like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon have. It's going to be like a title card, and then that's it. Kind of signifying it's not this grand story they're telling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's it's based off of these like novellas that George R. Martin wrote, and I think this series is 6 episodes.
6 episodes, from what I hear, it's about half an hour each episode, which kind of bums me out. But
I think it's gonna be like very, very. It'll have its like R-ratedness about it, but it's gonna be a more lighthearted, fun show
for sure. It's gonna be a more of like a character-driven. Less, I mean, like there's going to be action for sure. I mean, there's like in the trailer we see this huge tournament set piece, which I think we're going to be at for quite a majority of the season. But it feels, and from what from George R.R. Martin saying, it's a character driven story with less action. It's the episodes have a smaller budget than the original Game of Thrones even did.
Mm-hmm.
But from what the I think the showrunner of this show is saying that like. They were able to do it for under 10 million, but still have this like same kind of weight and dramatization of like what the fights and action felt like in the original series. So, all great signs, I think, pointing to this being quality. And I will say, like, there are some minor book spoilers I'm going to kind of go into if you don't want to hear that. So just a fair warning for you all. I don't know if you know.
It may be me.
It may be you. I mean, I don't want to.
I think I know. Yeah. I know.
The biggest one.
The stuff right? With the kid.
Yeah. That's the big stuff I was gonna go into because, like, in all the synopsis and like the trailers, they don't ever explicitly say it. And so
sure.
I already gave the warning, but the kid is called Egg, and I think. His first line in the trailer and his name are like big hints already. In the trailer, he's like, I've never heard of you, to Sir Duncan the Tall. And he's like, do you know all the knights? And he's like, I know the good ones. Kind of meaning that he's like, I think only like royalty, I think, would have knowledge of like a plethora of knights. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Egg, if you all remember, I think his name was Maester Aemon from The Wall he was at the Night's Watch in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
when he was passing, he was basically hallucinating that this had all been a dream and that he was back with Egg, and he called out for Egg. And I was like, it's a nice little connection there. I've always loved that moment in the show. So yeah, his Egg is,
but also Egg is short for
Aegon.
Yeah,
and so he is Aemon's.
He shaved his head.
Right. That's why he has the shaved head. He's trying to hide his hair.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think he's Maester Aemon's like younger brother, from The Wall, which is interesting. I mean, Aemon would have to be old as dirt. Holy shit.
I think that Egg, like, maybe that's his. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's his younger brother.
The lore.
Because from what I know,
there's no way it's his younger. There's no way it's his younger brother.
I think it is because and some more spoilers.
But it's set 100 years before Game of Thrones.
It is. Well, I think it's technically. I think they're putting a more like
dot on it.
I know it's at 100. I think it's supposed to be set 90 years, like in the books. I feel like they're just rounding up to like, I don't know, do something with the trailer. I don't know. They should have just said 90, but yeah, sure. We'll say 100.
Set 90 years, I guess, is not as exciting as 100.
Right. And so, I think what I remember is that Aemon, he passed up the throne, and it ended up going to to somebody down the line, which was his younger brother Aegon. And so this young boy will eventually be king of Westeros one day, which is quite interesting that we'll get to follow him as a small boy as a squire to Duncan the Tall.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's exciting too is that there's like another point in the show, in the original show, where like Joffrey is talking to Jaime about the past nights, and like Sir Duncan the Tall has like 4 pages written about him, which I mean, so we're gonna get to see some exciting action, some exciting exploits. So
and I think like we'll have I think this will be a nice, more positive, not positive, but I more lighthearted time in the Game of Thrones universe. There might be some violent stuff at times, but I think this will be a nice refresher and a nice like palate cleanser from some of the like grimier parts of it, and it'll be a new type of story that you're telling, and it goes back to just these being novellas. And I don't think this will be just a one and done season. I think they'll carry this on for a little bit.
They're already talking about season 2, so.
But they're already like the thing that it doesn't completely bum me out about them being 30 minutes and 6 episodes is Barry is one of my favorite shows ever. Arguably, and that's 30 minutes, and that's like.
But what's that 8 episodes
a season?
Right. So at least give us 8.
But like two more episodes. If the story that they're telling is good with just the 6, like I'm
sure.
I'm really fine with it, because like honestly, like you can do so much with 30 minutes if you do it right.
I feel you. It's just like, I guess it always bums me out when like the runtime of a show will equal like a movie length. You know what I mean? Like this is just going to equal 3 hours. And I'm like, all right. I don't know.
I mean,
like that's cool. Yeah. It's just going to end so fast. It's going to be over like that.
For some stuff, I feel that way. Yeah. But I don't know. It depends. Like if like this type of story, like although I would like, sure, I'd like an hour, but like if this type of story is like kind of a smaller scale story, like do we need an hour? I don't know, but if we're doing, there's no way that you can make House of the Dragon with just like 30 minutes each.
No, you couldn't, because there's just so many characters you need to like follow and progress with, and
and this way you're like in a lot of ways this is like what one character's journey throughout a whole season of like House of the Dragon might end up with. You're right. 30 minutes, No,
I think in that sense it is a really nice refresher, because it is just like we're following, and it doesn't even necessarily like it's not even only for Game of Thrones fans, if you know what I mean. Like I think this is something that like
you don't even have to know anything. You don't even know anything.
Right. I think this is something that just fantasy like genre lovers that can get into, because you're just like it's a story about like a knight in a fantasy world that like it seems like he's trying to do good, like he seems like he's a good person. He swore to defend the weak and the innocent. I think it's going to be like the first good, not good story, but like good natured story in Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Besides, Pie Boy or whatever his name wasn't like Arya's best friend who was like big and he wanted to be
he was great. Yeah. That's funny that he's the first one that you go to for being like a good natured story.
I mean, I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
Yeah. No one's got well, I mean, Samuel has got a pretty great story.
Yeah, Sam. Maybe the princess who had grayscale.
But hers ended so tragically.
But she was a good natured person.
Sure. She was a child. I get all children aren't great.
Maybe Ned was close.
Ned was just perfect on her. He just what a man that guy was. Yeah. But yeah, so back to this, we're gonna see some cool characters. Like Lionel Baratheon seems to be a big part of this. He's the Baratheon with like the antler crown. He's his nickname's the Laughing Storm. We're gonna see Prince Darren, the Drunken, Prince Arian, Bright Flame, Baelor Targaryen, who will be the next king. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna be seeing a lot of like I guess technically the aftermath of House of the Dragon and how like the dynasty has laid out so far. But from what I hear too, it's like this is a time period in the show where like people are now starting to question why the Targaryens are still ruling if they don't have dragons. And so I think it's going to be really interesting to see like the small folk kind of like maybe become, I don't know, like on the uprise of like uprising in a sense.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things they can show in this, a lot of different directions. I'm just excited to get more Game of Thrones, to be honest. So
yeah, me too. Yeah. I mean, it's been a whole year since the last one. So
yeah, and we're getting 2 Game of Thrones shows next year. How nice is that? House of the Dragon season 3.
If it's good, not that season 2 was not good. It was.
If it's the same quality as season 2, I won't be upset. I'll be like, just like a tad bummed. But like season 2 was still good. Like it was still good.
No. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just.
If it's
I
worse,
just think a lot of people. Yeah.
But yeah, that's our thoughts on Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Releases January 18th. But yeah, next we want to talk about another trailer from Marvel this time in Wonder Man. This was supposed to come out, I think, December 25th of this year. Been delayed a few weeks to January. What is this? January 27th, 2026. So 2 January shows back to back. That's funny. But yeah, this seems to be like the premise, like this trailer is kind of showing is that it starts off with like this documentary kind of footage of this legendary director, Von Kovac, who seems to be very fictional, is coming out of retirement to remake this 70s, 60s superhero character, Wonder Man. And, it's going to be set in LA and Hollywood. There doesn't seem to be any hint of like actual superheroes in this. But we get a returning character in Trevor Slattery, who was in Iron Man 3 and Shang-Chi, and he seems to be like the main character, Simon's right-hand guy for some reason. Maybe he's a mentor. I don't know.
Yeah, or just like another actor, and he's like, you gotta, maybe they took like an acting class together or something like that.
It's funny that like this is Destin Daniel Cretton's second project, and they both have Trevor Slattery in here. I guess he likes this guy enough. Sean, what is his name? Ben Kingsley, right?
Yeah, Ben Kingsley.
Yeah. But no, I think this has got a really cool vibe. Like, I love the idea of this actor being like so obsessed with this character as a kid, like idolizing him, and then like getting the chance to play him in a remake. And somehow I'm assuming he'll actually become Wonder Man. They haven't hinted at that at all. You know what I mean? Like,
no, they haven't.
At some point, I'm assuming, but
yeah. I mean,
it's a cool change.
It would be interesting if he never did, and this was all just some sort of commentary on because like they lean heavily into this very meta thing about like superhero shows or superhero movies are like they're not good and they're like on the downward trend.
Right.
And
wasn't one of the quotes like that Von Kovac was like, everyone's tired of superheroes. Like no one cares about them anymore, which is very like commentary on the nose. Yeah. And on one hand, I want to believe that Marvel's got this very, very interesting kind of like, they're even kind of hinting about the fact that they're wanting to
again, it's also like a remake of this thing from like the 60s or the 70s, and they're trying to make it new again, and that feels very like Fantastic Four, and that feels very like Superman, and it feels so like it's interesting. I want to believe that they have something really great here. I'm also just really nervous that this could fall on its face really hard about like trying to have some sort of commentary about superhero movies and
it just doesn't come off funny, you know. That's the problem. It's got to be funny.
It's either got to be funny, or it really has to have something to say about like why they're important, or why we like them, or why, just some sort of story to be invested in, like why this person, we should follow this actor as he obsesses over this role. Now, the guy who's like the director who played the dictator in Superman.
That was him. That's funny. Didn't even connect.
He was saying some stuff like, we're not gonna leave this place. We're gonna make the greatest movie ever. And was
he saying we're gonna make like the last movie to ever exist?
Yeah, and it was like, we're gonna make the last movie. So I have this feeling that it'll be like, how great would it be to have now, like, you have the powers of Wonder Man, and like you have to, like, what if this director's so batshit crazy that he starts this like international conflict, and he's like, I started this plan, and I'm gonna shoot it, and you're gonna get the powers, and I'm gonna shoot you doing it, and it'll be like he'll be this mad scientist kind of thing. Like,
no, that's a good theory. I like that a lot.
If they, like, either they go, he doesn't get powers, and it's this weird kind of, it's this weird sort of, not weird, but it's this, because even the font is like very much plays like this, like it's a sitcom, like ABC kind of like dramedy, and then but like you either go no powers and it's this funny take like The Studio, or it's this funny take on like superhero movies, or you go full on like this dude's like, he gets powers and he actually has to save the day, and this director's crazy, or something like that.
No, I like it. I think that makes sense.
But I don't know. I'll say Yahya Abdul-Mateen. I liked him as Black Manta. His comments going into like the second Aquaman movie made me like a little bummed on him, because he was like basically saying like, this like comic book stuff is like kind of like clownish, and I'm just doing it for a paycheck.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is his third comic book role. Do you know that? Because
he was Dr. Manhattan. Yeah,
he was Dr. Manhattan in the Watchmen show in 2018, 2019, I think. Which I thought he was really good at.
That his comments might have been taken out of context. They might not have, but
the fact that he's doing a third project is wild.
But he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And I like Destin Daniel Cretton. I think the premise is interesting, and I've heard that it's good, but I also haven't heard a ton about it. So I'm just,
I
don't know. But like, it looks, I don't know which one I want more. I just want it to be, honestly, at this point, I just want it to be good, because there's not that many Disney Plus Marvel shows that I can look back at and be like, that was really good.
Like,
so
there's maybe 3 that I want to go back and rewatch at this point. You know what I mean?
WandaVision,
Loki, and Falcon Winter Soldier. That's it.
Yeah, don't know about that third one.
Fine. I got the steelbook for that one, so that's
Yeah,
all
I know.
me. Yeah.
Oh well, I like Miss Marvel. I enjoyed Miss Marvel though.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot I like about it, but there's also it's got its flaws, you know. I think the last two
But to be honest,
episodes
like
didn't stick the landing for me.
the
But
I just maybe Loki, and maybe I'm forgetting some, but I just I don't in general I don't really rewatch TV shows,
sure, yeah.
but the ones that I do want to rewatch, like I feel like it says something that like I would actually really enjoy like rewatching WandaVision. And there just hasn't been enough of something like that
Right.
coming out of like Marvel TV.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think what's smart, and from what I hear, I mean, you know, this is like from a article back in like early 2024 when they were still, I guess, fresh off making this. Is that like this is going to be under that like Marvel Spotlight banner, you know, like how Echo was.
Oh, right.
So you know that's supposed to signify that like this isn't really connected to the movie universe. This isn't like going to be some crazy extraterrestrial story. Like it's supposed to be a street level story under the Spotlight banner.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I mean, and like I buy that. I just
right.
Wonder Man, they they can break away from the comics, and they have a ton.
Right.
And like you should leave room to do these one-off specials with characters. I would be a little surprised if they don't have him included in some way in the larger MC. Not saying that like this has to be like alluding to anything. It can just be a one and done, and then we see him in some other,
but I think
like move, and it's unrelated. But like Wonder Man is like one of the first Avengers, so it's like it's very interesting. Like I'd just be like, to
like sideline him like that, right?
I'd be like, okay. I mean, he's one of the first Avengers,
right? But I think, I feel that I get that opinion, but I also feel like the way Marvel wants to start doing TV is to like make it non-essential viewing to the movies. You know what I mean? And
right. I'm saying like this is still non-essential, but he could still show up somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. You'd have to do some like reworking, to like catch audiences up a little bit to who he is.
No, well, do you? Because like you watch the first Avengers movie, and you like, let's say you've never even seen any of those like you never saw Iron Man, you never saw Thor, you never saw Captain America, First Avenger. Do you really need to watch all those movies to be brought up to speed? I don't think so. And I don't think that the billions of people, or the billions, but the thousands, if not millions of people who went out to go see those movies that have resulted in $1 billion to close to $2 billion or whatever it was. Like, none of like people who had never watched comic book movies, like, or any of the MCU movies at that time were like, oh my God, this movie was amazing. And I swear most of them had not seen it. I had never seen First Avenger or Thor. I'd only seen Iron Man and Iron Man 2, and I watched Avengers, and I was I'm up to speed.
Oh wow, okay.
Because they did it very well.
I think
you didn't need to know.
My only thought is that you might need to watch Thor to kind of get a little bit of Avengers, but I only say that because of Loki,
They just kind of introduced him as like this magical guy who's here to get the Tesseract. Yeah. And, he's bad. And then Thor shows up and he's like, that's my brother and he's bad. And you're like, okay, he's
I wish that was the dialogue. That's my brother and he's bad. Oh, man. No, I get what you mean, though. Yeah. I look, if this is good, yeah, for sure. Put him in more stuff. But if this is like Echo, then we can just kind of keep him in the project, the spotlight, and just kind of forget about him.
It sucks that you're probably never gonna see Echo again.
That sucks.
Well, I'm saying like it sucks because that character could have been so cool.
Oh yeah, if they actually wrote her like the comics, sure, yeah, it would have been cool, but they didn't. So she sucks now. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah, no,
it's done.
I feel you. But this is gonna have 8 episodes, a little longer than your average Disney Marvel TV show. So, yeah, maybe we'll get another trailer in the meantime before this comes out. That'll explain a little more. But so far, this looks like a really grounded, funny story that I'm pretty interested in. So, wasn't expecting that because I was even complaining about Wonder Man before the trailer came out. I was like, we don't need this. You know, we don't need another new character.
Right.
No, but I'm charmed. But yeah, so we're gonna move on to some more Marvel stuff. This was at New York City Comic Con, yeah. And they showed off Vision Quest at their panel. The trailer, what is it? Yeah, the early footage shows, I guess, White Vision apparently as he's adjusting to having the memories that the, I guess, Wanda created Vision
regular
had.
Vision.
Kind of regular Vision. I mean, kind of made up regular Vision. But he transferred his memories into White Vision, and he's struggling with these memories, but he also has no emotional attachment to them. So that's why I guess he's struggling. And apparently they also were, I guess while they were presenting this, they also again referred to this as the conclusion of a trilogy, which Paul Bettany has said, which like multiple, people involved in the show have said, that started with WandaVision, went to Agatha all along, and is now ending with Vision Quest. But yeah, the footage also shows like Vision as a human, like as Paul Bettany, entering a mansion where he's met by servants who I guess are turned out to be the AI characters that we've met in past movies. So like Jarvis is there, who's reprised by James D'Arcy. I guess he played Jarvis in the Agent Carter show, from what I hear. And then Edith, a human version of Edith. There's human version of Friday. And then lastly, who's revealed as a human version of Ultron, who's played by James Spader. And James Spader, I guess, then introduces Vision's son, Tommy, who he hasn't really got to meet yet, besides seeing him in Red Vision's memories. So a lot of interesting stuff. It's cool that we're getting like the direct kind of story beat after Agatha all along, where we get to see Tommy as his new bodied self. But I am so curious. Like, one of my favorite things in Age of Ultron was that end scene where like Vision and Ultron had this like philosophical discussion. And I think that's exactly what we're getting with like all these human versions of like AIs and robots that Tony's made.
Right.
And yeah, I'm so curious to like see him go through this emotional and mental like journey to start to care about his son, his really weird connected son that he has. But yeah, I think this is going to be a very different story for Marvel. And that excites me a lot for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you got the guy who made Picard season 3. I forget what he did some other stuff too that was really good. But he like, felt like very passionately about this project and wanted to make it this one-off sort of thing. And it's obviously very much about like being human and AI and technology, and it's a very sci-fi story, and so like that alone is very like intriguing to me. How Tommy as like an actual boy whose soul has been put into another body or like just was because there was like a kid who was dying in the water, right? And
yeah. So basically, it seemed like the kid died, and then like he immediately put Tommy's like soul into the kid, so he lived, right?
Yeah. So I hate all of that, just so everybody knows. But
damn.
I really think it's stupid, but but fine, it's magic. That's what happened.
It's magic, right?
And we're like completely okay with the fact that both of these kids
stole
bodies, basically.
Bodies of kids who died. I mean,
it's really weird. Anyways, yeah,
it is weird. I'll give it to you.
There's seemingly like a through line between all these like properties, like all these shows, even though like you wouldn't think it. And I'm very curious to see like how that all ties in, how this results in a trilogy of sorts. Do we see Vision again after this show? I don't know. Is it gonna be just purely, you know, like a drama and realizing what you care about or what's important?
I think that's going to be the main aspect of it, you know, and like figuring out what it means to be Vision / like a living being, you know, kind of rediscovering himself, I think is a big part of it. But I do think, like, I don't know if you remember, we had those concept art leak for Secret Wars, and we had White Vision in there. He was a part of it. Tommy was in there too, I think. So
is it just gonna be like Vision is now a single dad with like two kids? Boys, like, is that like, oh, me and my boys, you know, like
my boys,
like, you know, like are we ever going to see Scarlet Witch again? Like, is it like,
we're for sure seeing Scarlet Witch again.
I don't know. But like, I'd like that. But, anyways, I like the concept. I like the fact that we're going to get these, humanized versions of the AIs. I like that Ultron. Sure. It's basically a him and Ultron show from what I've heard. It's, you know, those are the two main guys for this show. I don't know how the Tommy thing gets explained easily, but I'm open to it being because like you don't watch WandaVision, you'll be like, so how are you here? Maybe that'll be his reaction. Is like, how are you here?
The fact that they're saying it's a trilogy, I think it really does mean you need to watch the first two to like get some things in this, which is a slight problem. Maybe that they're like viewers to actually want to watch.
Right. And maybe they're like, this is the last one of us doing shit like that. And then it's all just like not connected. But
for sure. Yeah. There's no way they're doing that again. Yeah. Unless it's like the most successful show they've ever made.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this is like one of the coolest shows they've kind of, I mean, like at least from what I'm reading about it, this is one of the coolest like concepts they've had in quite a while. I've been looking forward to seeing White Vision again ever since WandaVision ended 5 years ago. And
5 years ago.
And now we're finally gonna get him. So hopefully all that waiting was not for nothing. And that we're
if you had a kid 5 years ago, they would be in kindergarten.
Yeah. And they would be able to watch this with me. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they would.
It's a little scary. Yeah. They've really effed up their content releases, but hopefully they're back on track. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
They don't have a release date for this yet. This is sometime in 2026 on Disney Plus, but I will be there day one for sure. But yeah, the other kind of big trailer that was shown at New York Comic Con was the Daredevil Born Again season 2 trailer. So not a ton was shown. It seems like it was like a big vibes trailer. But I guess the footage of the trailer opens with Matt and Karen having a romantic domestic life, and until Matt's senses are overwhelmed with something explosive. But then we, I guess later on, see missing person posters from Matt Murdock. And then he's wandering the streets of New York until Jessica Jones comes to his aid in a fight, it seems like. So we get Jessica Jones confirmed for season 2. She was on stage to present it, from what I hear. And then we also see Wilson Fisk, who's pummeling a man in a boxing ring. I guess he can't get enough of snapping people's heads off. He's got to beat them too. So
wasn't snapping people's heads off. It was smushing their heads in half.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he smushed and then he fell over. You're right. Still pretty gross. But yeah, we get a small shot of Wilson Bethel's bullseye. He's just eating a sundae at a dinner. Fisk and Vanessa are at dinner. They have a shot of them. But yeah, it's just a lot of vibes. I guess Foggy is shown once to our surprise. I'm not sure what Foggy's doing in this. Hopefully it's just a flashback, because I don't want to see him come back from the dead, to be honest with you.
I would be shocked if he comes back from the dead. I just feel like it's that, like, I'm in your head and I'm your moral compass, kind of.
I hope that's the case. Yeah. He needs a moral compass again. But yeah, and then from what else I'm hearing about this is that Daredevil Born Again season 2 and Spider-Man Brand New Day are like heavily connected, and that they want to have like this continuity for New York going on.
I feel like when they say that, they just mean that being a vigilante is just not the best thing to be at the moment. I think that's enough for me. You know what I mean? Like I've like when we watched Thunderbolts, right? There was just like, they were in New York for quite a long time in that movie, and there was just like they
nothing.
were in New York for like, I would say
for half the movie, but that's half the movie.
Yeah,
in a sense.
But they weren't. I don't know.
I know New York wasn't the focal point. I get that, but like there was nothing of mention of like New York becoming this like secluded like dictatorship city state or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean?
We don't know that we don't know the timeline, right? Like it's not. Do we know that it's during Daredevil?
We don't, but they were coming out like at the same time. I think Daredevil like ended like a week or two before Thunderbolts came out or something.
I don't know. For me, I can take like adding that element to that movie would be like too much. So
but all I'm asking for are like some Fisk posters, just give me some hints of what's going around. Just like I think what's going to happen with like Spider-Man and Daredevil is that there's not going to be like, they're not going to appear in each other's properties, but they're at least going to like acknowledge what's going on in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all I'm asking for. Just a little continuity,
Sure.
Yeah.
I do think that it'll mostly be like can't be a vigilante without there being some problems.
And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I hope Spider-Man's going through a little bit of that in his movie.
Yeah.
But Charlie Cox did confirm he's not going to be in Brand New Day. So it's possible that he was in London to maybe film something with, I don't know. That's a long shot.
Avengers?
I was going to say, no, to film something with like Spider-Man for his own show. But I think that's such a long shot because from what I hear, Spider-Man in live action technically can't appear in the TV shows. So I'm not sure how they pull that off.
Or he's lying.
Or he's lying and that he is actually in Spider-Man. Yeah, that's actually a more plausible scenario.
I mean, he was in the last one.
He was in the last one. That'd be some nice continuity too. Yeah, they already know each other technically. Although he wouldn't know Peter anymore. So there's that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I think
but
I'm
Avengers
excited to see.
Was also shooting in London, so
I'd be surprised if he was a big part of Avengers. At least he could be in Avengers. It's possible.
Not a big part.
Yeah, yeah, it's possible.
I mean, they're going to be shooting Secret Wars, so
what soon?
I mean, they should be. Yeah, it's like back-to-back production.
That's pretty insane. That's a ton of time to polish this movie. That's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, no, I think this is an exciting, like a lot of things that I think I didn't. Well, I will say one thing, big thing I didn't expect was for them to open on Matt and Karen kind of being in a relationship.
Yeah, because they weren't like there yet.
They weren't there yet. Like at the end of that last season, it was very much a love triangle with like it seemed like she was more into Frank Castle than she was into Matt. So I'm curious how that developed. I hope they don't just kind of spur us into it just for like fan service. Because I do like their complicated relationship.
Yeah,
I do want them together, but I want to see it happen. You know,
right? Yeah.
But yeah,
not
and
just
then
like 5 months later, and they're
right, they're happy and right. But yeah, and then obviously the best news of this whole thing is that Jessica Jones seems to be like a main character of this season, and that they seem to be teaming up throughout the whole thing. So
yeah, do we have any doubt that Mike Coulter and Iron Fist are showing up? Like they're showing up. We're getting.
I still have my doubts about Iron Fist.
I don't know if it'll be the same actor. But
I think it would bum me out. I know you weren't a fan of the actor, but I think
I thought the actor was fine. I thought the actor was like it's just what the show was bad.
Oh, the show sucked for sure.
And what they gave Danny or
Danny,
I think that might have been like what they gave the actor to play was not good, and I just think you could make it redeeming for him to be like, but I also think that there might be like too much baggage and be like, do we really want to, maybe we just get a new. I mean, apparently there was an Iron Fist in that like Eyes of Wakanda show that I haven't watched yet.
Yeah, I heard about that too, but I hear it's a different character technically. It's not Danny Rand.
Sure. Okay, but like, I feel like we're getting an Iron Fist at some point.
Yeah, I hope so. And here's the thing: like, I know Defenders wasn't like the best of shows in that like little Netflix universe, but I think it does the like group dynamic justice. I think like there's some really good moments with him and Luke Cage, and I think the whole group just has like a good chemistry. So I don't know. I think it would be great to have all four of them back. I hope they're both in this season. I'd love to see even the side characters of those shows kind of come into play, like Colleen Wang and I'm forgetting like the black woman detective's name, like Maria. Was it Maria Rambo? Does that sound right?
That's the.
Is that something
like
else?
Captain Marvel, like Photon?
You're right. Yeah, I don't remember what her name. Misty Knight. It might be Misty Knight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Both of those, I thought like they were for sure building them up to be their own superheroes by the end of like that whole era of Netflix Marvel. But yeah, I'm just a fan of that era, and I'd like to see it come back. So. That's just me, know.
We'll see. It might be too many people.
Might be too many, but you need an army of superhero badasses.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're talking about as prominent roles, I'd say maybe too many. But
but I'm just saying you need a big group of able people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all the news about what was shown at New York Comic Con that we wanted to talk about. But yeah, lastly, we saw a first look of Sadie Sink in Brand New Day. She seems to have her natural red hair, and we saw that she's wearing combat boots and like military pants.
Well, did you see that image that I think came out today? And I don't know. I never know if things are real or not.
It's the one with like her in the vest and like the skull, right? Yeah, it's AI. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I figured it was. I was just like,
I thought it was real. Like, it looked really real for a sec.
And that's what, that's what's so like, frustrating about the world we live in. But like, I was like, I don't think that this is real, but it could be. But anyways,
no, yeah, it's just like
why we
care about that.
It was real.
No, so I think what people are, what I see, and I think is a really strong theory, is that she plays kind of a Punisher sidekick in her name's Rachel Cole Alves. So her story is kind of similar to I guess Punisher's in a sense, where she loses like her entire family to like a criminal, gang shooting or whatever you want to call it. And so because of that, she, uses I guess there's a reporter who works at the Daily Bugle who like follows up with her after the shooting, and like they become friends. She uses her to like get information that leads her to Punisher, who like are both targeting the same criminal organization. They partner up. But I think from reading about her backstory and whatnot, I had this like kind of theory for what could happen in Brand New Day. I'll be pleasantly excited if I'm right, but I think what will happen is that Peter starts working at the Daily Bugle, and he becomes friends with this reporter Noah Winters, who
we're assuming that Peter will work for the basically like Alex Jones like stream from your like second spare room like Jonah Jameson like streamer. And
is that all he is?
And
Daily Bugle isn't an actual.
Well, no, I don't know. I don't feel like they clarify like how much of like is it just like new media like on the internet streaming, or if it's like a legit not legit. I don't want to say legit because it's not like the fucking news is legit, but like but I'm just saying like as opposed to like having a huge office building and lots of resources and we're on like a huge payroll and stuff like that. Like I'm like, and also wasn't Jay Jonah like the one that like fucking was like, Spider-Man's a menace? Like I'm just like, why would he?
Sure, but he always, I mean, it's Tobey's Spider-Man worked for him for like 3 fucking movies, right? I mean,
I know, but like there's just, I feel like I remember stuff about like things with Jay Jonah in the third one where he like wasn't it like
he outed Spider-Man from what I remember.
Yeah, and wasn't he like there when like he kind of like his van showed up the time that like when May gets killed and like had something to do with that?
Sure, I think you might be right.
I'm just saying.
There's reasons why he wouldn't want to work for Jay, right? I think that's what you're getting at.
Just like it's just like not the normal Daily Bugle. Like it's like more. Sure. Anyways, if
it is more like the normal Daily Bugle, I think we'd all love to see Peter become a photographer and work a little bit for the Daily Bugle. I mean, right. Like to see him have like a semi like relationship with J. Jonah Jameson, I think is always like fun.
Maybe he'll be like a live streamer for it. I don't know. But sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So I think Peter starts working there. He meets Noah Winters, who's a reporter there. She sets him up with her like new friend who's like going through a lot, needs somebody to kind of like get back in the dating game. So Peter and Sadie Sink's character Rachel go on this date. They become close. You know how like it seems like a major theme in a lot of Spider-Man stories is that he knows who the villain actually is, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like later in the story, I think Peter's gonna figure it out. He'll be the one to break through to her that like revenge isn't the right path because he tried to go down it in Spider-Man 3. I think it's like a natural story for those two. And I like the idea of giving him somebody like around his age to, I don't know, kind of bounce off of and like interact. I don't know if that makes sense, but like,
yeah.
I think he's got to have like this group of people like that makes sense to him, rather than like the Punisher and the Hulk just being like the main characters of this movie.
Yeah, and also like Sadie Sink is just such a phenomenal actress, and if she is playing this like Punisher-esque character, that's really exciting because her when she wants to be like mean and angry in whether it's Stranger Things or The Whale,
like she pulls it off.
I don't know if there's some, I mean she can be really mean and aggressive and angry and intimidating, and I just think that she's a great actress. Right. I mean, like one of the standouts of Stranger Things for sure, and
nice.
And one of like probably the best like younger actresses like out there, and especially when like you're going up against like Brendan Fraser in The Whale, and you're just like on equal footing in a lot of respects. It's just like really amazing. So
right,
I think she could be I like this theory. I think she like very well could be that character. And I'd be down for it. It'd be a very interesting and like fresh take for like a Spider-Man movie, and in a villain that we've never really seen before. So
because like in the story that like I was reading, that's like our main kind of story from the comics, is that like she goes up against, like she's obviously allied with Punisher, but she goes up against Daredevil and Spider-Man when they're like trying to steal this drive that has like all the locations of like criminal organizations in New York, and she wants to use it for revenge, but Spider-Man and Daredevil want it for a different reason, and I don't know. I think it all really fits with like what is included in this movie. I'd be a little surprised if she was anybody else at this point because of what she was wearing, because of her hair color. I guess she still could be Mary Jane, like another version of Mary Jane, weirdly, because of the red hair. But I kind of doubt that at this point.
I think that Zendaya is Mary Jane. There's no other Mary Jane.
Well, she's MJ. She's not Mary Jane.
But
she's Michelle Jones, is all I'm saying.
Dude, I mean, she's
I'm just giving you the facts. I'm just
saying like, yeah, no, she's not Mary Jane Watson, but like in the MCU, she is MJ. She is MJ. Yes.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, and how about like, and now meet me, I'm Mary Jane Watson, but you can call me MJ. Like, I just could they pull it off in a way that's kind of sweet, maybe, but I think you just got to stick with.
I think to your point, like to introduce a Mary Jane,
you'd have a better time just have
Zendaya,
right, and you'd have a better chance. You'd have a better time just getting a Gwen Stacy than
I would agree.
I think you're gonna piss off people if you try to make like a quote unquote like more comic accurate and like Mary Jane, like Zendaya is the MJ, and for all intents and purposes, the Mary Jane Watson of the MCU, and that is that. And if they change that, I mean, can you imagine? They're like, they like Zendaya's, Marvel replaces Zendaya for an actual like redheaded white woman.
Yeah,
Mary
like that
Jane
would
Watson.
be
Can you
problem.
imagine and just in general, like why do we just want like Mary Jane Watson, just traditional Mary Jane Watson, when what like Zendaya's given us is like a great character, and like we could just continue with that character because she's a great character.
I think
she has all the mannerisms of like an MJ, just
sure. Like I think I get what you're saying. I think to what other people's point is that like Zendaya could have played a comic accurate MJ like really well, and I think that's what kind of like bums people out.
But I think she is in a lot of ways. She's just like a little rougher around the edges.
I would just say, like career-wise / personality-wise,
like, or like being like acting or being like a journalist and stuff like that.
It's just
or
like
investigative journalist.
Mainly in acting is what Mary Jane usually goes into, and she's got this kind of bubbly personality, and I think it's not really what Michelle Jones is, and that's fine. Like I really do. I agree with you. I like Michelle or MJ, whatever you want to call her.
MJ.
Sorry. I won't call her Michelle Jones anymore. But no, I agree with you. But I also can see where other people are coming from. That like it would have been cool too to get like a comic accurate MJ. But it's fine to deviate sometimes.
I feel like we got it, like with the fucking Kirsten
Dunst,
Kirsten Dunst, and like yes, like when Spider-Man inevitably gets rebooted in like 20 years or sooner, or
but like, think about that too. Is that like the last time we saw an actual MJ was in 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Say 20 years from now, it finally gets rebooted. That'll be like 40 years without an MJ. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, we've had
this is a whole different conversation than
this is a whole other conversation.
But back to her. I think what's interesting about this character, that they'll probably have to change a bit, is one, she's a retired Marine sergeant in the comics. And two, I think her family and husband were killed at like her wedding by this criminal organization called the Exchange. Sadie Sink looks very young to me, so I don't think she could be a retired Marine sergeant. I guess it's possible she could be getting married. I don't know.
I think you probably only have to go with what you basically told me, which is her family was killed by this criminal organization. Yeah. She's out for, or maybe she was raised by like.
You could just say she's been being trained by Punisher for the last 2 years or whatever,
like whatever, like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
And she's Peter's age,
Yeah, no, I agree. Like she's 20, 21 probably. That's fine. Yeah. That works.
And the other thing is like they have said that the MCU is basically like the ultimate universe, right? Like they even went out so far to change to model Nick Fury's appearance in the Ultimate comic books to look like Samuel L. Jackson. Like that is how much that the Ultimate universe is supposed to be like. Kind of like the MCU is kind of the Ultimate universe, is kind of its own thing, but in that sense, like characters changed and were different in the Ultimate universe, kind of not to the same extent that like there's the Absolute universe in DC right now, but like it's not like Peter and like Green Goblin and like Tony Stark were all the same type of characters in the Ultimate Universe. I mean, Reed Richards and Franklin Richards certainly weren't in the Ultimate Universe. I mean, like Reed Richards basically became like the worst villain of all time in the Ultimate Universe. And so all I'm trying to say is like, she doesn't need to be exactly like
no, and they never are in the
and
MCU. So
and Mary Jane doesn't need to be exactly like Mary Jane Watson.
Sure.
You know, and it makes it more like, would it be cool one day? Sure. You know, but it's not even like Superman that we just got is the most comic book accurate. Like there's things that have been changed
for sure
and are not the same. And there's other things that are drawn up, you know, aside, like you know, that are very similar and are drawn from the comics, but regardless, I'm just, you know, I agree. I don't think she has to be like a married, you know, or whatever she was gonna be like going to be married, you know, that, retired.
Like, those are two story character points that don't technically match like her age.
Right.
So, you know, maybe there's another character she could be playing, but I do think this is the strongest theory we have at this point as to what she's doing in this movie.
Yeah, and most likely the main villain.
Could be. Gosh,
that's what I thought.
I like it. I think it would be a surprise to have like the Hulk in this movie, and it to be mainly like a Spider-Man versus Punishers kind of thing. So I'm trying to figure out how Hulk still fits in all of this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like my original thought was that Mr. Negative would be a main villain, and that he would be influencing Hulk to be, you know, the actual
like
Hulk.
maybe there is like a bigger overarching villain, but that she will be like
she'll be a villain,
like a villain / anti-hero.
Yes, I agree.
But a big part of it.
Still have no idea who the main big bad guy is. It could be her. I mean, I would be down. It would be very street level wise, but I guess we'll have to wait for an actual.
I retract that. I think she's not the big villain, but she's going after the big villain, and he has to be like, no, don't do it, and blah 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 blah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, the criminal organization she's going after is the big villain. Could be neat.
Right.
Be neat. But yeah, I think that's everything we wanted to discuss for today's episode. So as always, thank you all for watching and listening to our podcast. If you want to listen in the future, we release these bi-weekly. Sometimes we'll do reviews and we'll drop those every once in a while. And if you want to catch us on our social medias, those links are in the description below. And if you want to give us a comment, or rating, a review, or subscribe, we greatly appreciate it.
And until next time.